What is division? Division, or dividing, is when you share something out into equal groups. So, for an example, here I have 8 sweets, and I want to share these 8 sweets between 2 people. So, I would say I've got 8, and I'm going to divide that by 2. So, the dividing sign means to share. 8 shared between 2 people. Now, whenever I share, I have to share fairly. I have to make sure that everybody has the same amount. So here I have my 2 people, and I'm going to share my 8 sweets equally between them. So I'm going to take 1 sweet and I'm going to give that sweet to this person, and then I'm going to take my other sweet and I'm going to keep sharing so they both get the same amount. I have to make it fair, and I keep sharing them out until there's no more sweets left to share out. There. So I had my 8 sweets, I've shared them out between 2 people, and I can see that each person has ended up with 4 sweets. So that means that 8 divided by 2 is 4, or 8 shared between 2 is 4. Another way to think about 8 divided by 2 is to think about the times tables that you know. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, how many times does the 2 go into the 8? So I can count up in 2s until I get to 8. So let me think of my 2 times table. 2, 4, 6, 8. And I want to stop there. So how many times have I counted up in 2s? I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know that 2 goes into 8 4 times. When you know your times tables really well, it makes division a lot easier, because as you can see here, we've got our 2 times table, and you might spot something similar with these numbers. We know that 8 divided by 2 is 4. That's because I also know that 2 times 4 is 8, or 4 times 2 is 8. And we call this the inverse. And the inverse means the opposite, and that's because multiplication is the opposite of division. When we divide, we always start with the largest number. So let's try another one. We've got 12 divided by 6. Now, if you know your times tables well, you might have spotted a bit of a pattern and think, oh, that you've seen the numbers 12 and 6 before in one of your times tables. So here I have 12 sweets, and I'm going to share those sweets between 6 people. So let's share them out. 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you. Whoops. 1 for you. 1 for you. Now everyone's got 1. We've got to keep sharing out until we've given out all the sweets. There we go. And I can see that everybody has been given 2 sweets each. And that's because 12 divided by 6 is 2. If you know your times tables really well, you can spot some of these divisions without even having to work it out. So you might have remembered that 6 times 2 is 12, and also 2 times 6 is 12. And that will really help you in knowing that 12 divided by 6 is 2. Remembering the inverse will really help you with your divisions. So here's the division sign, and there's also quite a few words that mean the same as divide. Share, groups, equal parts, divisible, and divide. But remember, the most important tip I can give you is that if you know your times tables really well, that will help you with your division.